Hey you, yes you, want to know how to get from this to this? Then just keep on watching, my friend. Thank you and good night. Hello, I'm Styleboy and welcome to my world. In today's video, it is the long anticipated, long awaited, whatever, I don't know. It's just been the video that you guys have been waiting for. How to make a fashion collection. So this is how you start from like an idea or like research to the final garment. So this is every single detail. I'm gonna go in depth because I've seen no one talk about this and I feel like it needs to be talked about, especially for those who are into like the industry and all of that. So if you do enjoy this video, please like and make sure you do subscribe to this channel because just do it for me, please. But without further ado, I think we should begin. So let's start. So, we're first gonna start off with research, which Steph's gonna take it away. So take it away, Steph. So, the first stage when you're making any sort of like fashion collection or anything, that is the mood boarding and the research. For this project, I've got 3 separate ideas, but I think I know which one I'm gonna go for. So, on my laptop, I'm gonna be researching all these collections and things that I find inspiring. So, we might as well go into all the research. So, let's go! As for this project that I just did, I decided to focus on empowerment. And I did empowerment through different ways. So the first empowerment was through the rise of the equality of people of color. The second one was the LGBTQS community and pride. Third one was feminism. And the fourth one is self-empowerment, which I'll get into later. And the fifth one was One Love Manchester and the rise against hate. And I just thought these were like 5 good areas to do. You can do as many areas you want as your research. You can do as little areas as you want. Literally collect everything that inspires you. That's my recommended tip. Materials, artwork, photos, all dresses, you can do that. Films, songs, music, people, everyone. This is how your project is going to become your project. And believe me, it is going to be done. So now the next stage is obviously making it into a mood board. But because I'm at school, well, I was at school, I had to make it into a sketchbook. So I'm going to insert some of my favorite pages here. Probably my favorite page or my favorite mood board from the whole entire thingy was my self-empowerment one, because this one was so personal to me and it felt so brave and liberating to finally be like, you know what, this is me. I feel empowered because of what I identify. I feel empowered because I am me. This is what empowers me. The music empowers me, songs empower me, fashion empowers me, YouTube empowers me. This is me. And I thought that honestly had the best result. However, the best looking one, I have to say, was either my pride page or my, what I call it, like I have a dream page, which is basically to do with like people of color. I love the drawings, I love the idea, I love everything about it. Was just such a good project and I feel so proud of that project so much. So proud. I'm just like a proud father. And now the next thing to do, which is basically everyone's favorite stage, is to take your inspiration and start to design. Now, the designing stage is so much fun. I think I've got some on my phone and I'll put them in right now. But honestly, the designing stage is one of the funnest things to do. And literally, my recommended tip is to get fully into the zone of it. If you're not in the mood, don't do it. If you literally feel like your designs are flawed, take a step back, rest, and then go back onto it later, whether it means a day or a couple of hours. Literally do so you actually create the best designs and make lots of designs. Just because you're there and you're like, okay, I am gonna be making like 1 garment or 2 garments or whatever, does not mean you can, doesn't mean like the amount of designs you have to make are gonna be like more or less. Make as many as you want to get that perfect one. Designers have to design like probably 100 or more just to create like the perfect collection. So for you, literally work hard. And I feel like it's honestly really good to just go and like lose yourself within your mood board. That's why I'm recommending you to go and like immerse yourself with everything. So whether that means go and like put on music in the background, which is what my preference is to do, is listen to music that on that project and that inspires me. So for example, for my project, because I was doing empowerment, it would make sense to listen to Now God Is a Woman, because it's much to do with like feminism and empowerment, to do the feminism part. However, it would then make a bit more sense for when I was doing like self-empowerment to kind of do In My Blood by Shawn Mendes, because that's my empowerment song and that's what empowers me. For example, maybe even like watching people. So for example, maybe when I was doing people of color and the fight against racism, I would probably maybe watch like a Jackie Aina video talking about like, the shade range of something, or maybe her video on like define what people expect, and just lose yourself within it and you'll create the best designs ever. And my other tip is is to think outside the box. Stick to your style, don't get me wrong, like I've got my personal style of being like really girly and feminine, but think outside the box. Just because you're designing does not mean that you don't have to think outside the box, you don't have to be creative, you don't have to be different, you can still do that. There are so much designers do these days, like literally the best example of people who think outside the box are like Alexander McQueen, Chanel with everything they freaking do, like their whole display of their catwalk, so wow, literally do so. Think outside the box, don't be afraid to be different, and just do it because you want to do it, and do it, you love it. And then once you get to the designs, and once you've done and you've chosen how many you want to make, whether you're making like 3 million or whether you're making one, like I made 3 and I'm still pretty impressed I made 3 within like 3 weeks, so snaps for Steph. The next stage is to go and measure. And to measure, my friend, you are going to need a tape measure. And one of these ones, best to use a centimeter side, and make sure you have researched how to measure. If you do want me to do a whole video on how to measure, comment down below because I know it can be really confusing. And make sure you have chosen your, you can work from the generic sizes, and that's using pattern blocks, which everyone uses, and they're so helpful within creating garments, and they are just the easy like access. So basically a pattern block is a simple shape, so whether it's like a simple top or like a simple skirt, bodycon or whatever, it's the simplest shape, but you then use the measurements to then go and adjust it. So my tip is to either use the generic size, if you're just making like a generic size 10 or a generic size 20 or something like that, just use one of those, or measure your model and then work around the sizing. So ask your model what their usual size is, so whether it's male or female, ask them, because you just generally need to know what you work from, and then you use the tape measure to measure around certain areas. Like I said, it can be pretty confusing, but there are usually like guides online on like how to measure certain areas, so I would definitely recommend on Google to search that, or if you want, I'll make a whole video on that, so comment down below if you do, but definitely they recommend you just to measure them. And then once you measure it, you go and fix your pattern, which is, oh gosh, now what the heck, mess around with the shapes you've designed just to ensure that it will work. Just because you're using a basic pattern block does not mean you cannot still do it. However, you can fix it on the spot. And if you do want usually a teacher or someone who in the industry, either in the industry, was in the industry, or someone who is older will generally help you, or you can go online to search as well. Then after, now this depends, because I did have to do this for one of my dresses, but like for 2 of them I didn't really do this, which is that you can make a twirl. And a twirl is basically just a made up dress out of calico, which is this really cheap material, and you don't have to do this. The only reason why people do this is to make sure it's going to fit perfectly, and you're going to have to like go back, adjust it, which is fine. Like, I think it's good to do it, but if you're in a rush or you don't really want to do that and you just want to go straight into making, you don't have to do it. It's an optional stage, but apparently they do it a lot of the time. We have to do it, so I guess. Then comes the fun part, the pattern cutting and buying your fabrics and all of that. Now, buying your fabrics can be one of the most weirdest experiences ever, and can kind of be intimidating when you go into fabric shop, and it can be just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But my tip is to go in and know what you're looking for. Write down what you're looking for and go in straight away. Do not go in with like blind sight and be like, okay, I'm making this dress, what do I want it to be? Literally go in with like a rough idea. So like, okay, I'm definitely gonna need 2 meters or 1 meter of that. Usually I would probably say get 1.5 meters or something if you're making like basic garments, like a basic top or a basic dress. But go in with that intention, like I'm gonna buy this sort of fabric, and if you need them, if you need help, go to the assistants. They're so helpful. If you're in London, my recommended shop to go to is Rolls and Roms and Holloway Road. Brilliant, they are so helpful and they're such a good selection. My personal favorite fabrics are the ones I always go back towards, because I'm glamorous like this, I always go back towards satins and stuff like that. So my favorite is to use Duchess satin. It's just a bit of more of a tougher satin. It does fray, but it's brilliant and it creates the best effect. I would just say go in and also ask for like if they do specific things. So for example, for mine, I had to use heat transfer because I love doing print stuff like that. So I'd recommend you to go in. Then once you've collected everything you need, threads, you've got the zips, the buttons, like every single little bit, which you can also get as fabric shops, or you can get a habit. Now it's time to pattern cut. So basically, once you get your fabric like this, oh, look how shiny this is. Once you've done this, you then have to make your pattern pieces, which are these. So basically, the way I'm doing this skirt is very exact. So I hand cut these and then cut them out, pin them onto here. The tip is though, the more pins you do, the better the result's gonna be, believe me, it is. So you basically gotta pin these into the fabric and cut, but make sure you pin them in the right places. Hello. So basically, if you look at your pattern and it says P.O.F, which basically means place on fold. So which basically means that you'll be placing your fabric here. Makes things a little bit more easier. It saves you a bunch of time from sewing. happen. So pattern cutting, once you have your pattern perfect and you've got your fabric, it's a simple piece of cake. Read what's on the pattern, because I've made the mistake of like cutting it wrong. But if it says place on a fold, place it on a fold. Make sure you listen to every single note that it says and do it. It will save you so much time. It'll give you more professional look if you do it and do it perfectly. And then comes the most funnest stage of them all, sewing. Now, to some people, they love it. For me, just it's my weakness. I cannot sew. Not that I cannot sew. It's just not something I'm good at, and it's not my preference. For me, I am more of like the creative side. So I'm like the designing, trying to learn how to use like pattern cutting and learning about like technical terms. But honestly, like getting me to sew can be so hard. So my tip with that is to take your time really, especially if you're a beginner, and go slow. Do not feel like you have to go Speedy Gonzalez and go fast and all of that. You're literally making this garment, and you should be able to take your time as much as you can, because you know that it's going to take 1,000 more times to go back, unpick it, and then re-sew it together versus going slowly the first time. I definitely learned that lesson. Oh my god. Oh, the hideous messes I've made. That's kind of how you make it, and then it's done. And then comes the fun stage, which is like the hair and the makeup. If you're gonna do like a photo shoot, catwalk, whatever, even if you're just gonna wear it out and about, like it's so fun, the rest of it. Like the styling of the outfit and the creating it into something that's magnificent. Like literally, it is amazing. And literally believe me that once you have completed your garment, it is the most rewardingest feeling ever. I'm gonna give you tips on doing it. So doing it within the process of it. Alright, here are my tips. Tip number 1. I would probably say again, like lose yourself within your inspiration. Get super excited about your inspiration and make sure it's something you are passionate in and you can do. If you are tied between inspirations and you're like, oh, which one do I do? Either A, find a way for them to link, boom, or do both. So like my example is I wanted to do originally between empowerment and music. Actually, it was 3. I wanted to try good versus bad, music, and then empowerment. So the first one I tried was good versus bad, and it just didn't excite me enough. I got kind of bored looking for inspo, and I was just like, this is so dead and so stereotypical. And the problem was it was such a deep topic that it went so deep for me. I was like, I'm not prepared for that deep. The second one, which was music, it excited me the first time I listened to it, but then it became harder and harder and harder to look for like specific photos, specific this, specific that. It just didn't excite me anymore. It just made me feel like it was a chore. However, empowerment made me so excited, and it became this excitement project. You should be excited for your project. You should be excited to make it. Literally, believe me, you should. Tip 2, as I said for designing, is definitely to think outside the box and look at the tiniest of details. That's what you need to do. Like, as well as looking at all the big pictures and looking like what people are wearing and taking inspiration from that and look at the tiny details. So for example, as well as the colors, look at the textures, look at everything. Think about how you can incorporate that into your design. Think about how you can incorporate like moods and feelings and energies into your designs. That is my tip, because I honestly feel like those designs make the best things. Let's just say like we wanted to take inspiration from my shirt. Okay, so most people kind of do like maybe like the teal or maybe like the element of like the florals and all that. I maybe would take inspiration from the 2 prints clashing and maybe changing the coloring, or even like this kind of detail a bit contrasted. Literally take any inspiration you can from whatever and make it your own. Third tip I'd say with pattern cutting is to also write down every detail you think you're gonna need. Whether you need like to add a centimeter seam allowance, write that down. Whether you need to place it on, write that down. Whether you need to put it like center, front, and back, write it down. Because believe me, if you do not have these notes, you are going to be screwed when it comes to pattern cutting, and it is going to make your job 1,000 times harder when it comes to making the garment and everything. It makes it so much more harder. Oh, that's so harsh. I don't mean to be harsh, I'm sorry. I'd also say that make sure you've got everything you need, and think about little details you are going to need as well. And do not be afraid when it comes to making to think outside the box a little bit. So for example, for the one with Kira, you know, the one with like all the flowers and all that, I literally thought you had to do as like a V, like a V-neck. However, I actually got told that they need to be crossing over, and that's how I got that perfect like V shape. Although it does have a cross, you can't see it because of the amount of big flowers that it has. So I definitely would say think about every detail and think outside the box when making. Tip number, I think we're on tip number 4 now. Whatever spare fabric you have, keep it. Keep your fabric, because whatever happens, whether you want to use it again or whether you mess up, you have to repattern cut it, I would so recommend you to keep every single bit of fabric. Not every single bit, but keep as much fabric as you can, because believe me, you are gonna need it one day. Also, another tip is that make sure you get more fabric than less. Because if you have 2 less, you have to go back to the fabric shop, ask for more, and and it's a little bit of a hassle, but you can do it. However, if you have too much, then the good thing about it is that you can always pick it from there and just redo it. It's so helpful. And I would say have fun and feel relaxed within doing it. If you do feel stressed, it's completely natural, and make sure you enjoy it, because this is what you're working towards and you're putting so much hard work into it. So even if it means you have to take a day break or a 2-day break, it is fine. Take your time, breathe, enjoy it, and just have fun and be excited for the final result, because it is amazing. So I guess that's how you make a collection. I really hope you actually enjoyed it, because I've never seen anyone do this, as I said, and it just excites me. But if you want me to do any more fashion videos, specifically what you want, comment down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, share. You know what to do, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Cheers, adios, goodbye.